A hidden gem classic rock album from 1970 that you should certainly give a listen if you're not already familiar with it. Coming up next on Music Meanderings. Spirit is a psychedelic rock band that never managed to achieve great success, although their albums, especially the early ones, are regarded by fans and a lot of critics as classics. The band started in Los Angeles in 1967, originally under the name Spirits Rebellious. They had several breakups and reunions between 1973 and 1982. They finally called it quits in 1997. Now, in 1970, Spirit, with the lineup of Jay Ferguson, yes, that Jay Ferguson, he had the hit Thunder Island, you might recall. He sang vocals, also guitarist Randy California, John Locke on keys, bassist Mark Andes, and drummer Ed Cassidy started working on their fourth LP called 12 Dreams of Dr. Sardonicus. The album was released in 1970, considered now by many to be their finest work. Have you heard it? Do you own it? Please comment below as we take a deeper dive into 12 Dreams of Dr. Sardonicus, track by track. It kicks off with Prelude, Nothing to Hide, and what a great opening track. Rockin' piece of late 60s, early 70s psychedelia. Really sets the tone for what's coming. Track 2 is Nature's Way. Now, that became one of Spirit's signature songs, and if you're familiar with the band already, that might be a song you've already heard. It was not a big hit at the time, though, peaking at 111 on the Billboard Pop chart in 1971. Written by guitarist Randy California one afternoon during an engagement at the Fillmore West in San Francisco. Not too bad being able to come up with a song of that caliber in one afternoon. Track 3 is Animal Zoo. 70s social commentary about just getting back to the basics. Another standout track with an infectious chorus, and Epic Records did release an early mix of Animal Zoo as a single. It only made it to number 97 on the charts. Much too fat and a little too long.
That's the fact, Jack!
Track number 4, Love Has Found a Way. Now, for the first time in the album, the pace does slow down a little bit. It actually segues right into the short interlude called Why Can't I Be Free? And although that's listed as a separate song on the album, if you were listening to a vinyl copy without any of that forced space between tracks, breaking up the flow that we have to endure these days, it just seems to flow right into it. Seems like a part of the same track, Love Has Found a Way. Number 6, one of the biggest songs by Spirit. Side 1 closer, one of their most well-known songs, Mr. Skin. It was actually the B-side to Nature's Way, and then was released as an A-side in 1973. It also charted, doing better than Nature's Way. It made it all the way up to number 92. We're looking at Spirit and what many consider to be one of their best albums, and maybe one that you haven't heard of yet. I would definitely encourage you to check it out, and that's 12 Dreams of Dr. Sardonicus. And we are into side 2 now, in track 7, Space Child. Just a great instrumental, spacey, aptly titled Space Child, fades right into the next track. Track 8 is When I Touch You. A contemplative, heavily psychedelic song. I think it's a love song. We'll leave this one open to interpretation. Number 9 on the album is Street Worm, another anti-establishment anthem. That was really popular in the late 60s and early 70s as a theme. The great instrumentation weaves in and out of the lyric. It wraps up with a scorching Randy California guitar solo. Number 10 on the album is Life Has Just Begun. Now, at its core, it seems to be a wedding love song, but I don't know. Is the name mentioned in the song a girl, or are they singing about the Indian tribe? Not really clear. Don't know. In any case, it's a beautifully arranged song that flows right into track 11, which is Morning Will Come. Now, this is one of my favorite tracks on the album. I'm surprised this wasn't a big single for him. Perhaps the most pure pop song on the record, complete with the horn section. And 12, closing the album out, is Soldier. Now, the song doesn't go where lyrically you would expect a 1970s song with the title Soldier to go. It's a short album closer with a la 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 final encouraging chorus of You Have the World at Your Fingertips. No one can make it better than you. A great way to finish up a great album. Spirit and 12 Dreams of Dr. Sardonicus. And a review on AllMusic says, although the album has a reputation of being Spirit's most far out, it actually contains the most disciplined songwriting and playing of the original lineup. The original LP was released in November 1970 on Epic Records. It was the band's lowest charting album to that point, peaking at number 63 on the Billboard 200 and spending only 14 total weeks on the chart. However, it sold very well as a catalog item, became the band's only album to eventually go gold, and it did that in the U.S. in 1976, was reissued on CD in 1988, again in 1996, and in remastered form with bonus tracks. Now, more recently, a 2022 2-CD reissue was released, including several bonus tracks and a 1970 live concert at the Fillmore West. Well, there you go. What I consider to be a hidden gem rock classic, Spirit's 12 Dreams of Dr. Sardonicus. Worth checking out if you're into the great rock and roll sound of the late 60s and early 70s. And I'll admit, I was late to the party on this one. Didn't become familiar with it till just a few years back, and that was thanks to some record collecting social media groups that I belong to. I was able to snag an original gatefold copy a while back for just a couple of bucks.
How much you want for it?
So, what do you think of the album? 12 Dreams of Dr. Sardonicus by Spirit. Kind of a hidden gem of an album. Please comment below and subscribe to Music Meanderings.